Someone who's been using Android for the longest time and
Switching from Android to iPhone this time around.
2000 nits of brightness on a
Base model.
This is the best baseline ever.
No compromise. If that's a hashtag we could use for this, that's what it is. There's no compromise.
Hey, what's up guys? Adam Lobo here and I'm joined by Umar from
hello.
ProductNation, and we wanted to do a video like this because we are very privileged to be here at the Creator Studio in Apple Park itself. Now, we're gonna make this video a sort of a video podcast per se to kind of talk about it because first and foremost, it's Umar's first time coming to Apple Park. So
Absolutely insane. Amazing experience. It's crazy.
tell me the three top things that you really was mind blown, specifically in Apple Park.
Okay, so honestly, just the atmosphere is number one. It's unmatched. It has been one of the coolest experiences. Looking at all the people, the creators we've been seeing for so many years, all together in the same space, sharing the same passion. It is actually pretty great. And then just the venue itself, the space is incredible. You've watched it in videos, you've seen it in the live streams. Being here in person is unreal.
So what happened is that this is my third time coming to Apple Park, and what's really interesting is that when I came back for the first time, we actually hang out and I told him about things like, you know, how the experience was, and he got to experience it. But from a technical standpoint, I told him, you know, bring the ND fields and stuff. So
basically, Adam prepped me without prepping me. Like everything was set up thanks to Adam. So
exactly.
It was great.
Everything happens for a reason indeed. The last time we did like this video podcast was with Dave 2D. I'm sure everybody knows. We kind of talk about the Apple Vision Pro. Now, since we are privileged to have this kind of setup, we want to talk about the iPhone, but specifically the base model, the iPhone 15, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer a model where you go like, no, I'm going to go with a Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pro is great. I mean, we've been using the Pro and the Pro Max for the longest time. I mean, I'm still rocking the Pro Max. According to Umar, he loves the regular.
The regular Pro.
He likes the regular Pro. But let's talk about the baseline. Okay, starting from build quality, Umar. Based on you holding the phone, the good thing is that the Pro has the the titanium finish, which was mind blowing. In case you all didn't, in case
Feels
we didn't,
really
because
good. Feels
in
really
our first impressions video, we did mention it's titanium, but words cannot express how light it felt.
You have to feel it. You have to feel it. Even the Max model doesn't feel heavy the way the previous Max models felt. So this was like really lightweight. Almost like what you said, it feels like a toy.
The 15 does not have that. Personally for you, do you think that could be something whereby it's a deal breaker, or what are your thoughts about
Honestly,
that?
not really. I don't think it's a deal breaker. I think the 15 feels good in your hand, just like all the previous iPhones did. It feels like a very familiar feel in your hand. The curved edges that you have now, it feels really, really good. So I was telling Adam as well, it feels like it's melting in with your hand, and it's very smooth to hold. So the overall just build and look of the iPhone 15 is a solid iPhone look and feel. And I honestly, no issues with that whatsoever.
So I was a bit skeptical about the idea of it being curved because I liked how it was. I'm so used to this boxy kind of shape. Now, a lot of other reviewers or some people said, oh, it's too sharp, it was poking the hands. Like for me, it was never an issue. But this, I feel like it's an added value into the iPhone 15 because it does feel great. And when I get my hands on the phone, I think that I'm going to be rocking it without a case because it feels so good. It's like
so
pillows for your hand, right?
It
feels so nice.
100%.
So build quality is great. So I think Umar also agrees that if you guys are thinking about it, am I going to lose out so much on the titanium finish as opposed to this particular finish? I don't think you will
really.
have
you don't have to worry about that, to be
Yeah.
honest.
The next thing that we want to talk about is the display. Right? I think both of us were equally as shocked to know that 2000 nits of brightness on a base model. What is that all about?
That's crazy. So I remember when we were talking to them, when we were experiencing it, I was asking about the peak brightness when you're outdoors especially. So he's like, I think it's 2000 on the Pro. And then someone was like, no, I think it's 2000 on the base. And we checked the website, they're all 2000 nits base brightness. And that's the first time you see that on the entry level base model again. So you're getting the best display that you possibly can with the brightness on the base model. So a lot of people complaining about, the display might suffer if you're getting the base model, or this might suffer, that might suffer. This year, there is no such thing as compromise in most of the elements you look at when you're purchasing a phone.
I think the only complaint that a lot of people may kind of nitpick is, of course, the refresh rate. Let's talk about refresh rate. How much of a refresh rate do you think that it would impact the general users using the iPhone 15, knowing the fact that it is still sticking to 60 Hertz?
So for me personally, it's very tricky because when I stuck with the 120, if I go back to 60, I feel it like severely. It's like I feel like I'm on crutches when I'm using 60. but it is what it is. Like you get used to it. The 120, the more you use it. But even when it's on 60, the way Apple does their 60, somehow it's smooth.
Exactly. That's what I want to tell people. So it is true that having at least a 90 hertz display would be great. Especially to people who have been used to a 90 hertz screen or even 120 hertz screen. When I was rocking the iPhone 14 Plus, because I kind of like that phone a lot, because battery life is amazing on that.
You're telling me the battery life.
To me, yes, if you come from 120 hertz, but remember, it's not 120 hertz all the way. It is still, adaptive.
Fluctuates,
right? So to me, it depends on what you do on the screen. Yes, it is a 60 hertz display if you look at the specs, right? It's similar to like a battery situation. Like we all know that if you look at the milliamps of battery, usually iPhones come, below the so-called packing order, but in terms of the battery performance,
it's all about optimization.
So I want to tell you all, especially for those of you who never actually used an iPhone before, yes, it's 60 hertz. You look at the spec sheet, it's like, oh my God, it's just 60 hertz. But it doesn't feel like a 60. It feels almost like a 90 hertz. Not exactly 90 hertz, it's true, but because it's very fluid, and because the software experience is great.
100%. So usually that's what it is. It's hardware and software together, and Apple generally does a very good job to whatever bridge you have in the hardware side, the software makes up for it. So that's what you love to see, and that's what you're getting with this display.
The next thing, Umar, that we want to talk about is the cameras.
Ooh, my favorite topic.
Traditionally, the base model has mediocre cameras.
That's where you're compromising.
And every single time, Apple has really relied a bit more on the software optimization, their image processing and stuff. This is amazing because your so-called baseline model, again, has a freaking 48 megapixel
there you go.
sensor.
There's no compromise anymore. And the second thing is, I think on the topic of camera, one thing that would turn me away from the baseline and move towards the Pro is obviously the camera, because we spend a lot of time using the camera. I create a lot of on iPhone stuff as well, so that's my favorite thing to do. And the telephoto is where, I use that more than anything else. So not having that 2x zoom would make the previous base model for me not really my perfect fit. But this time around, because you get that 48 megapixel on the baseline model, you have that ability to use the 2x lossless zoom, and you have more versatility. You have two lenses, but you're essentially getting 3 focal lengths, which is absolutely incredible for people who are in the photography side of things, want to focus on that, even with the base model.
Okay, so let's wrap things up right now for the switching, or people who want to upgrade from a previous iPhone first.
Do it. I mean,
let's actually elaborate. And then we can talk about the, someone who has been using Android for the longest time, and what would be the compelling reason for them to make the switch?
Okay, I mean, if we're doing a very bare bones, quick version of this, the transition is going to be smooth, switching from Android to iPhone this time around, because the iPhone baseline model, again, is so compelling. And you don't, like I said, I think the key takeaway from this is no compromise. If that's a hashtag we could use for this, that's what it is. There's no compromise. You're getting everything you got from the Pro models last year on the baseline model this year. If you wanted to taste the iPhone, the Apple ecosystem, the Apple world, this might be the best time to do it, because you're getting everything you need without, most people have the issue of the pricing and that constraint. You don't have that anymore. You're getting that on the
because speaking of the price, a lot of people sometimes forget that Apple has not been increasing the price. Up until now, like how many generations are. And I totally agree with Umar that, for those of you who have been contemplating whether or not you should switch now and to try it out, this is the best baseline ever.
100%.
So that's the reason why we decided to do this whole video podcast.
Focused on the 15 only.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we might do another video like here. We have the privilege to be here, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Umar from ProductNation, and we will catch you guys very soon. Hopefully, we might do another one back in Malaysia. So thank you so much, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.